All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, be sure to hit that thumbs up. And if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. So, as you guys know, the overall market has been correcting, crashing. And what that means for me as a young investor is that I'm buying the dip. In fact, I think I need to buy some Nvidia shares. I do have some already, but I wanted my averages about 93, 94. I was hoping for down here, but earlier I kind of missed out on this bottom, and that's fine. But, you know, I'll be patient. I'll be patient. I'll keep averaging in slowly. I'll be patient. But anyhow, that's large cap news, right? We have the SPY here. If you guys check out the daily chart, the SPY is absolutely getting smoked right now. And so good old RT has been buying in all these big red candles in the move down. So, we'll see how it plays out over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. Tariffs are definitely taking us down. And, tariffs, they say can be good. And I believe that, right? I guess that's why countries use them, is that it's something that could be positive. But definitely here at Merciless Markets, it's more than good. It's great because it's providing a 40% off coupon. Yes, I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys loved that transition right there. Coupon code tariffs is giving 40% off here at Merciless Markets, the number one day trading program in the world. As you guys know, we guarantee transparency. While we do not guarantee success, we guarantee transparency. We guarantee that everything that we know from zero to advanced is in the chapters, it's in the classes. On top of that, you have our mentor sessions, our live scanners, our live trading, low latency, and the whole nine. Feel free to check out the website, check out the links down below. And let's jump into this recap. Quick announcement there. Let's jump into the recap. So today, Relentless, how was the day in the small cap land, being that the overall market was tanking? Well, today we were able to make $569 in about 2 hours, but more so about 30 minutes or less of active trading. Today we had a host of issues with our scanners, with our, or let's say not scanners, but our level 2, our time and sales, our market depth, our market data. As you guys know, a large part of our trading style and system is to utilize the level 2 and the time and sales. And today was one of those days where that was just not part of the plan for what we could do because the instruments were lagging, right? So a typical level 2, as you guys know, the bid and ask price, it goes hand in hand. It's always supposed to be connected and showing real time. But this morning we had massive delays, and so I can actually pull up my video. I have a video from today. I don't always record. I mean, I've been recording most of the times, but not always. Today is one of those days I do have the footage. Sometimes I don't record, but today I have footage, and I want to show you guys how terrible the level 2 was. By the way, we had a great 1 minute candle to make a new high right here. That was a lovely trade, although small size, but great trade nevertheless. Okay, let's bring this back here a little bit. So the level 2 was so delayed that despite BJDX already resuming out of a resumption and moving, my level 2 here still shows that the stock is halted up. It's as if it was 5, 10, 15 minutes behind. I mean, just absolutely insanity. We've never seen it this bad before. So I pulled out my E-Trade level 2 thinking it'd be a little bit better, and it was just as bad. It was just as bad. Here you guys can see, we have orders showing at 21 by 29, and versus the DAS level 2 where orders are showing at 24 by 38, and it's halted, right? Just insanity. If we skip ahead here a little bit, let's see, the stock is halted down at what's this, 842. The level 2 is showing 750. Just absolute mockery of what we understand level 2 and time and sales to be. And I don't believe the E-Trade level 2 was much better. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So here's stock NWTG. You got the time and sales showing 25, the level 2 showing 12 and 13. So again, this is the best example here, really. This is what we were dealing with. So, it was really and truly untradeable up until MKDW came along. And for timestamps, I'll tell you guys exactly when this one came and when we started trading. This is around 11:04. So all the way till 11:04. In fact, the stock started moving a little earlier than that, but 11 is where I kind of came on board. It did go from, previous highs, the original high of day down here at 46 cents. This thing curled up, a bit of a high consolidation here around 55, 58, broke out, and it never looked back. So this thing was absolutely aggressive, halting up at 74, dipping and ripping from 76 to 86. I did miss key areas like this, or else I could have done much better on the stock, especially if the level 2 was already working. But anyhow, it pulled back to a low of 80 after going to a high of 105, and this is essentially where I came into play. I started taking dips down here and selling into the high and then trading this move up. I did get up to 1K, or at least close to it, like 800-900, but I had some trouble, I think, right in this area. For, let's see, we had, yeah, right in here we had a baby pullback, right? Was it this candle? It might have been, or it might have been this red candle. Okay, we had the 1 minute pullback from 17 down to 7, and the 1 minute candle to make the new high. I was all over this. So I did take some stabs down below, and also was buying for the 1 minute candle to make the new high over 15. And I tried buying at 13. This is one of my biggest missed opportunities. I took a 10,000 share position at 12, 13, more so at 12, and the order got rejected. And it's because I took too much size relative to the volume the stock was pushing, which was a little disappointing because, initially my plan was to take 9,500 shares, but I adjusted my share size and then increased it again. And, if I'm to come up here, if I put this up to 10,000, I usually will drop 500, which is what I did earlier in the stock. But after the pullback held up and I realized I wanted more size again, I clicked 10K and didn't give it that tick down. And so I ended up, sadly, missing out from about 12 to 19 with 9,500 shares, which at the time would have pushed me up to about 1,400 on the stock. So from 800 to 4, I gave back about 350 off the top. So we could have done a little bit better there. There were some other areas on the dips, such as this one. So in terms of pattern, right? So we have our breakout, right? Stock is going, pushing. It's always, hey, where do we get in when the stock is going up so much? Well, we want some sort of a break down, or at least a breather, right? That's what I like to say. And that's what this was. So from 105 down to 80 cents, and utilizing level 2 as well to help us get long into these trades in the classes. We always talk about the importance of level 2 and how it helps us to determine the entries down below. So we're long, and and I can pull up my show trades here so you guys can see the trades coming up. So let's see here. We're in at 84, the lowest, and you can see I had more size coming down, getting the dip a little higher, which wasn't great. So we stopped out and then got back in a little lower, and from 84 is where we really ripped up aggressively. So exits 91, 86, 92, 97 total for all the shares traded on that candlestick. So yeah, I again right here down at 90, I had a great position. I think I sold it a little early. This 5,000 share block here. Let's see, is this the right one? I believe there were two. I think there were two positions. Let's see. So I might have sold. I think I might have sold one, and then added back a little higher for then break of one. But yeah, I ended up going to 117 here. Again, we had that bit of an issue on this particular candle. And after that, I had good intuition that the 5 minute pullback at the time was bullish. And it's why I was all over this consolidation, trying to get the move back up. But in a lot of candlesticks like this where we looked good, we didn't quite go. Right here, we looked good, we didn't quite go. And it wasn't up until the third time was the charm here, where we went from 1 all the way back to 114. And right here, I really thought we were going to make a new high off this bull flag. But sadly, it broke down. I was hoping for that retest of the highs and then a new high of day. So a little disappointing to not, get more out of it. But all in all, pretty decent. We were able to get the couple $100. The hotter stocks on the day were BJDX. Of course, pre-market, much more clean. Where, it seems like that's where the better action was. No level 2 or market data issues. Clean move here from 6:20 a.m. to 7:11 a.m. before the backside. And, after this pullback, we were hoping we would see a bit of a red to green into the open and then a new high of day over the pre-market high. But whilst we did get a red to green, it wasn't the cleanest in terms of like the overall look. But there were some key areas where you could have capitalized on. For example, I did mention that I took the long here, small size. Initially, I was holding into the halt up. There was a false halt, so I sold on the open of that, and then it got halted up again. Resumption, opened up lower, ripped up, and the stock eventually made a new high of day before getting halted down. So, the key is always trying to capture the front side and avoiding these bigger flush outs once we get to extended, leaving the stock alone. Nice front side here again after the red to green, but you'd have to avoid these bigger flush outs. Again, right here again, right? Same thing. Try to capture this type of move and avoid, even if you're trading this consolidation, cool, but avoid this type of red candle. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you can get caught because if we look at this, it's a bullish 1 minute. We make the new high. It looks like we're going to take high of day and then boom, back down. You can already just see how brutal this one was. And these sometimes is where I can get caught because I'm thinking that next high of day is coming. So I got to be careful on those. That was BJDX for the most part. And then JNVR, which I think was the real hot stock. In fact, wow, I'm seeing it went to 48. I didn't notice that. Pretty impressive there. 48. Wow. So let's see. It retook high of day, which was at this time 34, which was already an impressive move. So this was the real big boy stock of the day. Again, early, just so many level 2 issues, so many issues with lag and, things like that. I'm not sure if a lot of traders are probably even still here trading, right? A lot of people might have left out in the first 2-3 hours and, kind of just called it a day. So hopefully some people at least caught this big move here, an extension. So about 31 to 48, which is nice to see. And again, with the large cap market being so weak, it's interesting we're seeing small caps be so strong, right? So maybe money is coming into the small cap land. People may be uncertain with large caps are saying, hey, so you might have algorithms buying more, and as a result, we're seeing more follow through. So again, small caps for the win. But this one was pretty crazy. Out into the open from 1420 to 1659, but it did have bigger spreads, lighter volume, things like that. And then it sold off all the way from 1667 down to 1281, but then it bounced on this resumption lower, halting up, dipping and ripping, and then getting over highs, getting up to 1788 and then 2075 before the brutal backside. This is what you have to avoid, this down stretch right here. Brutal backside all the way back down to 11. So from 20 to 11, and then from 11 rips all the way back up to 1940 over the next 10-20 minutes. Consolidated here much tighter because this could have easily went back down to 10 and held and ripped up to 29. Couple of halts and then 32 for highs. This is where I last saw it was coming down right here, but it looks like we held up this trend line at 24, which was a daily level, and from there Kind of went sideways for some time before finally around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. rather, curling up to 50. Insane, man. Insanity. JNVR, absolute monster. So this is a good sign for small caps, good sentiment for small caps. Hopefully we can continue to see more action tomorrow and into the rest of the week. But we need our instruments to be working. That way we can set the tone of the day early, stick around, see how it goes, finish up strong. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Remember to check out those links down below. You got the links for the classes, coupon code tariff. You got the links for the chat room. You got the links for the scanner. Check out everything. And also check out the latest podcast episode with our good friend and business partner, Mighty. For those of you who are not aware, Marcelo and I, we did shoot a crazy podcast episode here the last couple of days. You guys can check it out. Feel free to leave a comment. We will get back to all the comments as well. And yeah, lovely episode. We got more stuff to come. We got more success stories coming from students as well. You guys can stay tuned. All right. Stay safe, stay green. It's been RT. Quick green day, small green day, taking the $500. It just feels so wacky, coming back to try to get involved up at 45 on a stock like this. It just seems so risky versus if things were going smooth and normal from the start. Or maybe even if we might have saw this thing down back at, in this area here, inching up at highs would have been much different, because then you have the hive day set up to give you that good flow, and then you kind of hyper scalp from there. But all good in the neighborhood. Stay safe, stay green. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember our disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky. A lot of people are having a tough time, so take it slow. Utilize small size, utilize simulators. Remember, my results are not typical, and I do not invest for my subscribers, okay? So be careful of fake accounts. And remember, lastly, copy trading does not work. It's all about learning the strategy for yourself. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you tomorrow.